So Magomed Ankalaev has just beaten Alex Pereira at UFC 313. No, I'm joking, of course. Well, I'm not joking. You know, this might just genuinely be one of the worst days in MMA history or even general human history. Either or, take your pick. Though while most fans are going through it right now, at least the Dagestani fans got to go to bed happy knowing that the guy they rooted for just dethroned the best thing to happen to this sport in this entire decade so far. I would say I hope they're happy with themselves, but they are genuinely thrilled by this. I will never understand how or why, besides the fact that a lot of these fans just don't even watch the UFC week by week and they just show up for these Dagestani fights. It's their prerogative, I guess. They can do what they want. I just wish they knew how annoying some of their fans can actually be, especially the ones that have never stepped foot in Dagestan and live in somewhere like fucking Ohio. And as for the light heavyweight division itself, it was fun while it lasted, boys. Once a cursed but still fun division with title fights such as Jan Blachowicz booting the shit out of Reyes to become the new champion, then to tap out to a 42-year-old man for Yuri Prohaska to beat the shit out of said 42-year-old man, to unfortunately getting injured and having to vacate the belt, giving us a new fresh matchup of Jan Blachowicz versus Ankalaev, ending in a draw, having Dana pissed enough to then book Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira a month later. After Jamal Hill's done beating up the elderly, then also unfortunately has to drop the belt due to injury, leading us into Pereira saving the division from there on. Now we are truly blessed to have someone finally run the division, beating contenders by holding them up against the fence. Yes, I understand I'm being salty. I need to get it off my chest. Gone are the glory days when I got to make videos such as how Alex Pereira saved UFC's cursed division and how Alex Pereira saved the UFC yet again. It felt like it was just yesterday that my fat ass got to glaze this man without a care in the world. Now I'm like 20 pounds deep in this cut with Ankalaev as champion. I think I preferred being a fat ass, to be honest. Sure, now I'm at a reduced risk of type 2 diabetes or something, but I preferred life with Alex Pereira as champion in it. I'm willing to take those risks. Our life moves on and Ankalaev is now our new light heavyweight champion, and as much as I may hate that and it makes me want to fair play to him because his title shot was long overdue and he won it fair and square. Gave him a lot of trouble with the boxing, way more than I would have anticipated, and overwhelmed him by holding him up against the fence. I have no doubt in my mind probably gave Pereira skid marks by the end of it, and knowing how much Pereira's fans love him, I'm sure the UFC would love nothing more than to sell those worn shorts on the auction site. Yep, but this is the new meta now, and as much as hardcore, try-hard MMA fans will try convincing you this is real martial arts and actually mixing the martial arts, and they tell you to go watch kickboxing instead and take a hike, can we just stop pretending we enjoy this fucking style of fighting? Like, you can be a fan of Ankalaev. It's perfectly fine. No issues there. Can we just stop pretending we enjoy this? Please, for the love of God. It's no surprise these Dagestani fans don't even stick around to watch the UFC week by week when they're watching shit like this. Like, Khabib was never on this. Khabib was exciting to watch. Islam is great. Like, I hate this so much. And I'm not putting full blame on Ankalaev, by the way. Like, Pereira also looked lost and didn't want to be in there at times. Didn't have much answers to Ankalaev's game plan and looked like a prime Adesanya trying to leg kick his way to a decision. The fight just generally being very underwhelming and anticlimactic, especially with the build-up we got with it. From Ankalaev, credit to him, talking his shit. Probably the biggest pay-per-view where we're going translator versus translator on. DC's so excited for this fight that he's doing whatever the this is on the weigh-in show. Though, to be fair, I don't even know what the UFC weigh-in show is even about nowadays. It's starting to look like a bootleg Diddy party. And lastly, we had John Jones so excited about the idea of Pereira winning and him getting to call him out afterwards had he won, is twerking on old ladies, which, to be fair, is a lot better than what he's usually doing with women anyway. Like, the fight isn't even worth breaking down. I mean, credit to him, Ankalaev did rock Pereira at the end of the second round and then followed it with 3 rounds of really nothing of note worth bringing up here. If you're going to take out one of the few good things we have left in this sport and the world right now, at least do it in style like Adesanya when he knocked out Pereira, taking out half his brain cells with him. I mean, sure, it was absolutely devastating seeing this as a Pereira fan, but at least it's something special and memorable. And, you know, peak cinema for the remaining 3 Adesanya fans at the time, including Joe Rogan. Hell, we even got to see Mauricio Rufy basically murder Bobby Green on the very same card. Sure, it's horrible seeing Green go out like this, But at least this is stuff that reminds me why it's worth staying up and ruining my health and sleep to watch this sport. Oh, first Elizabeth and now Queen Green. And I need to put this claim out there for reasons that we'll get into, but I'm not even mad at Ankalaev. He's got to do what he's got to do to win. He won the fight fair and square. It's his life, his career, his legacy. I can't be mad at him. All I can really do is congratulate him, which congratulations to Magomed Ankalaev for winning. Now on a crazy 14-fight unbeaten run, which, you know, maybe should have been stopped with the DQ against Walker, but, you know, we'll let it slide. You know, he beat Walker anyway. I'll give him his moment. Now that's out the way, and I have no issues with Ankalaev as a fan of the sport myself. His fan base, however, is what gets on my f***ing tits. Like, whatever the f*** this thing is. Disrespecting Pereira about sending him back to the tire shop, which he very visually did not appreciate. And I could tell because he was very happy to receive the Sharma chance like 5 minutes earlier. Which isn't all Dagestani fans, don't get me wrong, I'll make that clear. But when you have so many annoying fans like whatever this f***ing thing is, openly disrespecting Pereira when there's no real reason to be disrespectful to, surely it's understandable why so many fans don't like this certain fan base. To be fair to Meza Ozil over here, maybe his eyes are just so drifted apart that he just never saw Pereira straight in front of him, so maybe that's the case, but still. And sure, Pereira fans themselves can be on the cringe side sometimes. Okay, maybe to be fair, I can see why people will be put off by Pereira fans. But the thing with Pereira fans is I can completely understand why they are fans of Pereira and why this is one of the darkest times in MMA history, losing our Pereira Pookie Bear. He's provided us with some of the best moments over the last couple years. Peak cinema, some may say. Every time you get to see him pull up with those shorts and that bald ass head, he never failed to amaze. From his constant left hooks, Jiří Procházka fights, emoting on Jamal Hill, his filler fights with Roundtree, and of course, saving us from Adesanya. Hell, even when he lost during all this, he gave us one of the best knockout highlight reels ever. He was even goated at getting brutally knocked out. This is the same man that was saving card after card as champion. When the milestone event UFC 300 was so desperate for a main event, it was looking at Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. Pereira stepped up to give us his iconic, hold on, let me cook sequence against Jamal Hill. You even had Adesanya in the crowd blinded by Pereira's aura radiating around the arena. If it wasn't for Pereira taking on Roundtree at UFC 307 on short notice, we would have had Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena as the main event for $80. Let that sink in. Actual daylight robbery is what Alex Pereira saved the American UFC audience from. Well, you know, at least the lunatic deranged fans that actually pay $80 for these pay-per-views, that is. Not to mention, yet again, how much this man has speedrun in his UFC career. In my opinion, a future Hall of Famer, 2 belts, 3 defenses, and actual peak cinema at times. My point being, if you are a Pereira fan, I completely understand. In fact, I couldn't understand not being a fan of Pereira, especially when you're actively rooting against him every step of the way.
Jan Blachowicz gets it done, second round KO, sleeps Alex Pereira stiff. Oh yeah, the Poetard, the Poetard, haters tears. And I'm going Jiří Procházka, brutal third round KO. I think he absolutely puts Alex Pereira to sleep. Oh yes. Sharma. They're gonna cry robbery, aren't they? So I'm going Jamal Hill, third round KO. Oh yes. Give me them Poetan tears. Give me them Poet fraud tears. Jiří Procházka, brutal KO. Sleeps Pereira out cold. Oh yeah, Sharma. I told you Ank would win. I knew it. The worst part is I don't even dislike Pereira. It's just a fan. Back to the tire shop. Sharma.
I can't be the only one. This is weird behavior, is it not? Like, come on. I don't get it. Yeah, sure, the fans can be cringe at times, especially how they fangirl over this man just saying the word Sharma.
Sharma.
Yeah, there it is.
If you're going to be the face of the UFC like Pereira has been for the last couple years, can you really help having some cringe fans along the way? I don't think so. No matter how much of a normal person you may be or as much of a cringe Poetan fan you may be, it goes without saying why someone would be a fan of this man. As for the Ankalaev fans, aka the Dagestani fans, most of which have never stepped foot in Dagestan, you've got what you wanted, and I'm happy for you, genuinely. It's an amazing accomplishment by Dagestan. 2 champions fighting out of Dagestan. actually unreal accomplishment. I just wish I could understand why some of your fans are the way that they are. Why are you rooting for Brazilian fighter even though you're not from Brazil? Hypocrite much? No, I just so happen to be a fan of the most exciting champion we had in the company. Same reason I'm a fan of Islam Makhachev. I'm not a fan of every single person born in Brazil. I hate Vitor Belfort. Another white fan kid of Alex got humbled. I mean, I'm not actually Alex Pereira's son, but as much as I may wish I was. Your chicken is going to lose. Sorry, both chickens. Aspinall and Alex. Who does Aspinall has as fans? The British white boys? For some reason, these guys love to bring up the fact I'm white. I'm very pale. Like, you don't need to remind me. I am fully aware. But hey, if you are an Ankalaev fan at the end of the day, it's your prerogative. I'm not stopping anyone or judging you for it. The weirdos, probably. But other than that, Ankalaev, very talented. Hopefully good champion. We'll see. And, I mean, he brought a lot of interest to the build-up with his shit talk. So when I say I'm not actually mad at Ankalaev for winning, I do genuinely mean it. I think it's worse for the division. I'd much rather Pereira be champion. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I'm just more so sad to see Pereira not as champion now and looking as bad as he did in this fight. And to be fair, there's interesting matchups to be made with him as champion now.
I'm coming. Let's go for that.
Sign up to my boy's YouTube channel. That is JG2. And for those who don't, you can do me a favor and you can bend the knee to King Triple C2.